Have you ever felt this way? One criticism from someone can ruin your whole day. One unanswered message can make you anxious. Do they no longer care about me? One glimpse of someone who seems more successful, more loved, or more recognized can make you start doubting yourself. You want to live freely, but you are deeply afraid of being disliked. You want to be happy, but your happiness depends too much on how other people treat you. And here is the uncomfortable truth. If your sense of worth always needs to be confirmed by someone else, then no matter how much love you receive, it will be very difficult to feel peaceful inside. True happiness does not begin with being liked by everyone. It begins with having the courage to become independent and the courage to love actively. Previously, we talked about the courage to be disliked, a book that shows us that freedom begins when we stop living for other people's approval. But freedom is only the beginning. After having the courage to be disliked, the next question is, how do we have the courage to be happy? Today's book is The Courage to Be Happy by Ichiro Kashimi and Fumitake Koga. If the courage to be disliked invites us to step out of the prison of other people's expectations, then the courage to be happy invites us to enter the world with a more mature heart. A heart that knows how to stand on its own, and a heart that knows how to love without controlling, without depending, and without turning love into a hidden transaction. In this video, we will explore 3 parts. First, what does true independence really mean? A second, why does happiness require active love? Third, how can we be independent without isolating ourselves and love without becoming dependent? When people hear the word independence, they often think of earning their own money, supporting themselves, and not depending on anyone financially. That is important, but it is not enough. In the spirit of Adlerian psychology presented in this book, independence is not merely an economic issue. Independence is an inner revolution. A person may earn a lot of money, but if they blame the past, circumstances, or other people every time they fail, they are still not truly independent. A person may live alone and take care of themselves, but if they still need praise, approval, and recognition from others to feel valuable, they are still dependent. A person may appear strong, different, and independent, but if they are constantly comparing themselves with others, their inner world is still not free. So what does true independence involve? There are 3 important steps. Many people live their entire lives inside an old story. I cannot love because I was hurt before. I am pessimistic because I grew up in an unhappy family. I have a bad temper because my childhood was full of pressure. These things may be true. The past may have hurt you, but the problem is this. If you use the past as the only explanation for your present, you may turn it into an excuse not to change. Adler offers a powerful perspective. The past does not completely determine your present. Instead, the way you live in the present influences how you choose to remember the past. Some people remember only betrayal, so they believe the world is dangerous. But within the same past, there may also have been people who helped, loved us, or supported them, memories they forgot because their current story requires them to remain a victim. So the most important question is not, what did the past do to me, but what version of the past am I using to justify not changing today? Independence does not mean denying your wounds. It means refusing to let your wounds become your only identity. When we face a problem, we often get trapped in 2 ways of seeing. The first is, other people are terrible. The second is, I am pitiful. My boss is awful. My partner does not understand me. My family is unfair. Life has treated me badly. Or the opposite, I am always the one who suffers. I am unlucky. I am too wounded. There is nothing I can do. These two perspectives may bring temporary relief because they allow us to avoid responsibility, but they also keep us stuck. The book suggests a third question. What should I do now? Not who is more wrong, not who is more pitiful, but if I want to live better starting today, what action can I choose? This is a crucial turning point, because when you ask, what do I do now? You step out of the victim role and return to the position of a chooser. A major sign of lacking independence is living in vertical relationships. A vertical relationship is when you see life through above and below, better and worse, winning and losing. Who is better than me? Who receives more praise? Who has higher status? Who is more liked? Who gets more likes online? In vertical relationships, you constantly need to be evaluated. Praise makes you happy. Criticism destroys you. Recognition makes you feel valuable. Being ignored makes you feel meaningless. But here's the problem. If your value is in someone else's hands, you will never be truly free. Adler encourages us to move toward horizontal relationships. A horizontal relationship does not mean everyone has the same job title, age, or social role. It means that in your mind, you see other people as companions, not opponents or judges. You do not need to stand above anyone, and you do not need to bow beneath anyone. You do not work just to be praised. You do not live just to be recognized. You do not try to be different just to stand out. You have your own values, and you take responsibility for your choices. Then praise no longer makes you lose direction. Criticism no longer destroys you, and the gaze of others is no longer the cage that holds your life. Only after becoming independent can a person truly love. Because without independence, love can easily become dependence. You love someone, but deep inside you may actually be saying, "Please make me feel safe. Please prove that I am valuable. Please do not leave me, because if you leave, I will no longer know who I am." At that point, love becomes a hidden transaction. I give you love, and you must give me security, recognition, and a sense of meaning. But that is no longer free love. That is conditional dependence. So what is active love? Active love is not sitting around waiting to see whether the other person loves you enough. It is not constantly asking, do they still love me? Are they responding exactly the way I want? Are they making me feel safe enough? Active love means understanding that love is your task. You choose to trust. You choose to respect. You choose to act with dignity. You choose to contribute to the relationship with goodwill. How the other person responds, how they love you, and what they choose, those are their tasks. You cannot control them, and you should not try to. But this must be made very clear. Active love does not mean accepting harm. It does not mean staying in a toxic relationship. It does not mean enduring everything and calling it love. Active love means knowing what kind of person you want to be in that relationship. If the relationship no longer contains mutual respect, mutual growth, or safety for your dignity, then an independent person also has the courage to leave. You do not love in order to be kept. You love because that is the way you choose to live. One of the deepest lessons of this book is that love helps us step out of self-centeredness. When we live in self-centeredness, we unconsciously believe that other people should satisfy our emotional needs. My partner must make me feel secure. My parents must understand me. My children must obey me. My friends must care for me in the way I want. And if they do not, I become angry, sad, resentful, or use my weakness to pull them back. Many people call this love, but in truth, it is emotional control. Mature love begins when you accept one truth. The other person was not born to fill every emptiness inside you. They are an independent person. They have their own freedom, their own tasks, their own choices, their own journey. When you understand this, why you no longer stand opposite another person in a hidden battle for emotional power, you begin to stand beside them as a companion. From here, happiness is no longer centered only around the question, "Am I satisfied?" It becomes, "Can we grow together? Can we create something better together? In this community, in this world, what can I contribute?" This is what Adler calls social interest, or a sense of community. You no longer see others as opponents, judges, or tools for confirming your value. You see them as fellow companions. The deepest happiness is not being praised by everyone. It is knowing that you are both independent and connected. You can stand firmly on your own, but you can also connect, love, and contribute without losing yourself. In the end, the price of freedom is the courage to be disliked, but the price of happiness is the courage to be independent and the courage to love actively. Independence means no longer using the past to justify the present. It means no longer asking endlessly, "Who is to blame?" and beginning to ask, "What do I do now?" It means stepping out of the race for approval, so you no longer hand your self-worth over to the gaze of others. Active love means loving without controlling, giving without turning love into a contract, connecting without becoming dependent, contributing without demanding that the world revolve around you. When you can be independent without isolating yourself, love without becoming dependent, and contribute without demanding repayment, freedom begins to bloom into happiness. You do not need to be liked by everyone to have value. You do not need a perfect past to begin again. You do not need someone else to rescue you from your own life. You only need the courage to say, "Starting today, I take responsibility for my happiness, and I choose to enter the world with a heart that knows how to love." If this video spoke to you, save it as a reminder for the moments when you begin seeking too much approval from the outside. And if you know someone who is trapped in the fear of being disliked, the fear of being abandoned, or the habit of living too much through other people's eyes, share this video with them. Do not forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so we can keep becoming a better version of ourselves every day. Thank you for listening. I will see you in the next video.